Bonjour à tous, c'est Serial Killer pour la suite du let's play sur Vampyr. On arrive bientôt à la fin parce qu'on n'a plus que la petite zone de West End ici à faire. Tout le reste a été fait, donc à mon avis on est vraiment plus très loin de la fin du jeu. Ah, quoique j'ai pas fait gaffe avec cette petite zone derrière West End là, qui était bloquée aussi. Bref, il doit rester plus que, allez, 2 heures, 3 heures peut-être, donc 2-3 vidéos quoi en gros, de jeu. Donc là on doit rejoindre le club Ascalon, on y va tout de suite. Pour information, pour tous ceux qui ont suivi...
It's locked.
Bah. Donc si cette porte est toujours fermée, j'imagine que ces deux-là sont toujours fermés aussi. Il faut peut-être rentrer par les docks nord là du coup. Bref, je disais, oui voilà. Donc pour tous ceux qui ont suivi le let's play jusqu'ici et qui iront jusqu'au bout, bah déjà je vous remercie. C'est agréable d'avoir autant de monde à suivre un let's play comme ça complet. Et je me posais la question, parce que je suis bien dans le jeu là, je suis à fond dans le jeu depuis la sortie, si ça vous intéresserait éventuellement que je fasse directement derrière un autre let's play du jeu, que je mettrai également du coup sur YouTube évidemment, mais en essayant de tuer tout le monde, en faisant l'inverse. Alors évidemment ce serait un let's play beaucoup plus rapide parce que les dialogues, j'irai très vite, hein, je les passerai très vite, étant donné qu'on les connaît, j'ai fait quasiment toutes les quêtes, si c'est pas toutes les quêtes secondaires du jeu. Donc ce sera un let's play beaucoup plus rapide, mais histoire de voir un petit peu les différences dans les dialogues et dans l'état des quartiers, comment ça se défile si on fait tout à la fois. Donc voilà, laissez-le moi en commentaire, et dans ces cas-là je le ferai peut-être. Plus simple, plus rapide, assuré de montage pour vous appeler les petites failles de combat dans les rues non importantes. Mais ça peut être sympa quoi. Je vais laisser à distance. C'est chiant, le ultime c'est l'ombre et tous les gros sont résistants à l'ombre. J'ai su, j'aurais pas pris ce pouvoir là. La menace des Icors. De tous les scales infâmes et maléfiques que j'ai dû combattre, l'Icor fait probablement partie des pires. Pas à cause de ses talents au combat, bien que cela reste un adversaire puissant et dangereux, pas à cause de son intelligence supérieure ou de ses ruses, un Icor est direct et franc dans ce qu'il a à faire, propager des maladies, des infections et des épidémies partout où il peut et dès qu'il en a l'occasion. Un Icor est l'incarnation même des virus et des infections. Partout où il va, la maladie apparaît et se propage rapidement. C'est comme s'il ne foulait cette terre que pour créer des fléaux et des épidémies, comme si la maladie était sécrétée par sa propre peau. Les Icors sont intelligents, sournois, malveillants et féroces. Capables d'endurer de multiples blessures, contaminer un réservoir d'eau, un grenier à blé ou un banquet, c'est typiquement le genre de choses qu'un Icor prendra du plaisir à faire pour satisfaire sa nature putride et perverse. Ils sont tellement rares qu'on ne sait rien sur eux. La confrérie des fainéants pense qu'ils ne devraient pas être considérés comme des vampires ou des scales, mais comme quelque chose à part. Tout ce que je sais, c'est qu'un Icor doit être détruit à tout prix dès qu'il a été repéré. Donc ce serait peut-être vraiment ça, alors ce qui serait à l'origine du coup de la maladie. Porte là aussi que je voulais voir parce que j'étais dans la cinématique là quand le personnage marchait, donc j'avais pas été vérifié, il y avait une petite grille.
It's locked, all right.
Ouais, c'est bien ce que je me disais. C'est logique en même temps.
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
Donc là, les deux portes sont fermées. C'est bizarre, parce que je vois pas par où on pourrait rentrer d'autres, vu que là c'est des zones grisées où on peut pas aller. Peut-être par un autre balcon, par ici. Il n'y a pas l'air d'avoir d'ouverture. Bon, c'est peut-être pour plus tard. Du coup, on va essayer de rentrer par ici. Voilà. Bah, c'est pas qu'on va essayer, c'est que c'est ouvert, donc on peut enfin rentrer dans West End. Dans White End, pardon. Non, c'est ça, West End. Je fais que mélanger Whitechapel et West End. Notre passage dans magnifique accent anglais.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Donc, on va aller vers le refuge parce qu'il est là juste en face. On va vite fait explorer à droite, voir si c'est fermé. Sauver l'homme épuisé. Ah, ok. Et où?
You London vampires are so weak!
Wow.
You're bleeding!
Oh, c'est bon là. La résistance tu as. Voilà. Alors je suis où? Là je suis dans la petite zone. Ouais, voilà. Donc, normalement le chemin est bloqué là. Ah non, on peut y aller si on veut. On peut aller dans la zone ici derrière. Bon, on va se limiter à ce petit quartier pour l'instant. Sang pur, nous connaissons l'expression. Nous l'entendons de la bouche des hérétiques et des barbares étrangers et parfois nous l'utilisons nous-mêmes. Mais savons-nous vraiment ce qu'elle signifie? Un vampire sorti du ventre d'une immortelle? Quelle idée repoussante. Comment une telle créature pourrait-elle trouver sa place parmi les vivants? Quel serait son but? Le nôtre est clair, gentlemen. Ascalon existe pour protéger l'Empire et ses citoyens. Nous sommes les protecteurs et les bergers, même lorsque nous sacrifions un de nos moutons pour notre subsistance. Quiconque sera reconnu coupable d'avoir cédé à la tentation de donner naissance à un enfant immortel sera éliminé. Ok, issu de la loi d'Ascalon. Je ne comprends pas en quoi ça leur gêne de se reproduire naturellement avec une vampire immortelle, plutôt que de mordre quelqu'un pour le transformer en vampire en fait. Ça change quoi? C'est débile.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reed, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura.
Ok, donc pour l'instant on peut pas discuter avec lui. C'est lorsque de la prochaine nuit que je pourrais lui parler quand il sera rentré en ville. Du coup, donc voilà, donc je viens de là par la gauche. J'ai donc fait la petite zone ici. Tout droit, on va aller voir, c'est là où il y a mon refuge. On va aller débloquer le refuge. C'est une petite zone fermée ici aussi, donc. Tiens, il y a quelqu'un dans mon refuge. Ah, bah a priori, c'est pas par là qu'on entre dans le refuge. Ah si, voilà.
It's locked.
Manoir Raid. Ah bah c'est chez moi. C'est chez moi. Aubrey Raid. Et Marie c'était sa sœur. Aubrey c'est sa mère du coup. Elle perd la boule là. Jonathan, mon enfant, pour mes lunettes, elle sait pas que je suis là donc. Elle perd la boule. J'ai 2 morceaux sur 6. Ok, c'est par l'extérieur.
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate? You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
I really wish you could meet her mother. You would love her. It's locked, all right.
Elle perd complètement la boule. Pas hors d'aller dans la pièce du coup. Est-ce que je peux la manger?
Good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother.
Yes, but this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Ouais, on peut la bouffer.
Mother,
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
what do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new...
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Il lui dit comme ça que ouais, elle est morte aussi quoi.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law, you're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Do you really see Mary and Father? Do you also see me as one of the dead?
Yes. For many years, it was just a game. Since your father left us without a word, I took to the habit of speaking to him.
Yes, I remember. I sometimes spied on you and listened to you talking with Father in the garden. It made me so angry then. But it was just a game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But since then, my poor dead Mary visited me in my room. She led me to her grave, and there you were. I now know the dead can haunt us.
I'm so sorry. You did not deserve to endure this. Mary should never have done this to you.
That's true, my son. But you know what the worst part is? I liked it when Mary spoke in my head. Now she is silent, and it makes me so sad.
Should I leave you alone? Just ask, and I swear you'll never hear from me again.
Oh, no, Johnny. You're always welcome in this house. And one day, when I finally die, we'll all be together again. Just as Mary promised us.
Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, son.
Ok. Première lettre d'Aubrey Reid, mon père a priori. En 1908. Mon très cher John, lorsque tu recevras cette lettre, tu auras 35 ans et je serai parti depuis bien longtemps. Cela me fait bizarre de t'écrire cette première lettre que tu ne liras pas avant plusieurs années. Je me suis longtemps demandé comment t'écrire tout ceci, puis je me suis souvenu des énigmes que j'inventais pour toi lorsque tu étais enfant. Ah, que tu aimais résoudre ces énigmes. J'ai donc eu l'idée de te proposer un ultime petit jeu. J'ai bien peur de ne rien pouvoir t'offrir de tangible en guise de récompense. Si tu résous l'énigme, tu auras ni bonbons ni trésors exotiques, mais tu obtiendras une chose d'une valeur inestimable, la vérité. Ceci sera mon unique tentative de t'expliquer pourquoi j'ai choisi de quitter ma famille sans aucune explication. Si tu veux obtenir des réponses, il te suffit de jouer à mon jeu. La décision t'appartient, mon fils. Quoi qu'il arrive, n'oublie pas que je t'aime. Je te promets que ma famille a été et est toujours ce qui compte le plus pour moi. Je me souviens encore de la première fois où je vous ai tenu dans mes bras, ta sœur et toi, mes trésors, mes joyaux. Vous voir grandir, jouer et rire remplissait mon cœur de joie chaque fois que je rentrais à la maison. J'aurais été capable de tuer pour vous protéger, mon fils, ma fille, ma femme. Mais le destin a eu raison de moi et j'ai dû prendre une amère décision. Le pire a été de devoir partir sans vous dire au revoir. J'ai décidé de le faire quand même, et bientôt je serai parti pour toujours. Je ne demande pas ton pardon, mais ta compréhension. Si tu veux en savoir plus, tout ce que tu dois faire, c'est te souvenir du bonheur que nous éprouvions dans ta jeunesse. Si tu souhaites trouver mon prochain message, pense à de hautes herbes et de grands arbres par un dimanche ensoleillé. De la part de ton père aimant,
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
On va retrouver la suite dans le parc du coup. Mon cher Avery, comme je vous l'ai dit il y a plusieurs jours, je vais être obligé de quitter l'Angleterre. Au moins pour quelques mois. Pendant mon absence, et tant que mon fils ne revient pas à Londres, je voudrais vous confier notre maison. J'ai déjà fait tout ce qu'il fallait pour augmenter votre salaire et m'assurer que vous le perceviez tant que vous remplissez votre tâche. Vous m'avez promis de protéger ma chère femme et de la servir du mieux que vous le pouviez. Je vous remercie du fond du cœur pour cela. Vous êtes la seule et unique personne en qui je puisse avoir confiance durant cette absence. Soyez assurés de mes sentiments les plus amicaux. Aubrey Reid. Avery, ouais, c'est le majordome qui l'accompagne partout, là, ma mère. Ah, bah, il s'était caché.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan?
Monsieur Jonathan.
I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
I'm sorry I could not be here.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
I found an old...
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Tell me that
No,
this you have...
Then I will...
Et du coup, j'ai pas le choix de le forcer à partir.
You really think I don't take it?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Do you know my mother speaks?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reed like that.
She may get better. It's only a hypothesis, but I know my mother is strong. Whatever illusions have clouded her mind, they will fade in time.
Yes. With time, Miss Reed will recover from this cursed year. I know that your return can only be beneficial to that process.
Goodbye.
Of course.
Ok. Lui, il est pas malade non plus. West End. Donc là, de ce côté-là, a priori, je vois qu'il y a plein de PNJ. Donc ça a l'air d'être un quartier de civil, pas de combat. Donc, avant d'aller au club Ascalon, on va faire le tour, on va essayer de trouver tous les civils. Pour qu'ils apparaissent, qu'ils me donnent leur quête éventuelle. Ok, donc on peut vraiment aller dans cette partie-là du jeu. Ça doit être là, les jardins avec les arbres. Donc on ira plus tard, parce que là on est dans une zone de combat. On va finir le tour de la partie civile de West End. Sur la droite, c'est le rendez-vous d'Ascalon. On va pas y aller tout de suite, là c'est chez moi.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Women die too in this war. Women of all countries unite.
Ok, non, c'est là en fait. Du coup, je peux quand même aller voir dans la petite rue, il y a peut-être quelque chose. Ça fait le tour de la... Ouais, c'est ça, ça fait le tour de la bâtisse. On va faire le tour de la bâtisse du coup. Jardin du temple, donc on va pas y aller, on fera ça après, tout le petit combat.
It's locked.
Ok, donc on pourra sortir par là, j'imagine. Ah mince, bon. Je sais pas où ça mène, donc pour l'instant on va sortir tout de suite. On va d'abord finir d'explorer la partie civile de West End.
I cannot enter.
Donc on sait que derrière le club Ascalon, il y a des égouts qui mènent à l'autre partie d'Escale.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
LSP, c'est là.
What happened?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones, their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about...
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes.
Tell me about the voice in your head.
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself, Miss...
Oh, I'm hungry. Need to eat.
Don't you remember who you are, Miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Elle fait partie de celles qui veulent le droit des femmes, là, les suffragettes. Je sais pas si c'était cette époque-là. Et du coup, le Club Ascalon, qui est hyper sexiste, ferait ça pour la pourrir.
What is the local news?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
I must go now.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a marqué? Vampyr égale Prince of Lies. Prince des mensonges. Three Truths Deceiver égale Walking Death. Cheat? Walking Cheat? Putain, j'ai du mal à lire. Ah oui, on va aller explorer cette petite partie qui va vers les docks et je vais déverrouiller la porte des docks. Comme ça, ce sera fait. J'en ai marre de tomber sur des portes fermées partout. Voilà, comme ça c'est fait.
Hello?
Lady.
Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
Ah ouais, niveau de charme 4, ok.
Forgive me. With the epidemic, I tend to forget people are supposed to sleep at night.
I'll tell you what. Come back tomorrow for tea. I'll be glad to see you then.
Ok. J'ai vu un mec passer par là.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too? So sorry, I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
Alors désolé si le chat me parle, parce que là j'ai un problème de connexion a priori. Je ne suis plus connecté au chat.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
Ah, il est malade lui. Okay.
What is this new
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
Pourquoi ils sont devenus l'idiot du village?
You need some
Quelque
rest.
chose qui l'a dérangé le cerveau un petit peu. Attends, je vais le soigner tout de suite.
Good evening.
I won't.
Do you need medical?
It's a little late for...
What can I say? I haven't.
I hope we're talking about the same habits, old friend.
You need some rest.
Voilà, comme ça c'est fait. Donc là on a fait le tour du club Ascalon. Donc il reste à faire toute la partie, donc là je viens de là, il me reste à faire cette petite partie là. Je vais d'abord aller tout droit dans la grande rue là, déverrouiller la porte au fond. Surtout il n'y a pas l'air d'y avoir grand chose. Voilà, un petit raccourci pour aller vers l'hôpital rapidement. C'est très bien. J'aimerais bien trouver un marchand ici, parce que je suis sûr que j'aurai des poignées de qualité supérieure. C'est la fille là, donc j'ai lui parler en dernier. Inconnu. Lui, il est dans cette boutique là. Je n'avais pas vu qu'elle était ouverte. Juste à côté de ma maison.
It's locked. Good evening, sir. Please forgive me.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. and you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit, it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome.
How is the situation?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address.
Finding a good restaurant?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have...
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new...
Is it not a little too...
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer...
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain...
Do you have any
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
I may have a look at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Voilà, des choses en bleu que j'aime bien. Ouais, 28 le 15 partout ailleurs. Ah non, c'est 15 le 18, 17 du coup le 18 et 15 quand les quartiers je suis bien dedans. Donc il est légèrement plus cher qu'ailleurs, c'est pas non plus extraordinaire. Donc il me faut 2 poignées et j'ai plus d'argent. Pas meilleur endroit pour vendre parce que s'il me vend les trucs plus chers, peut-être qu'il me rachète les trucs moins chers aussi. De recycler en composant, je vais le garder d'abord pour vérifier qu'est-ce que ça donne comme composant. Après, je suis dans la dernière zone du jeu, les gens n'ont pas l'air d'être très malades. J'ai déjà des remèdes d'un peu de tout. Si vraiment il faut, je pourrais acheter du coup. 187. Après, j'ai 738. Je vais attendre de passer une nuit. Vu que j'ai soigné un petit peu de gens, le quartier a peut-être gagné en santé et il me vendra tout ça moins cher parce que les petites poignées ça fait cher quand même. 187, si je peux les descendre à 150 par exemple en prix, ben, ce sera un petit peu mieux toujours. Ok. Ok, donc je viens de là un petit peu plus haut là. Je vérifie juste que j'ai rien oublié. A priori non, c'est fermé, il n'y a rien de spécial. Ok, on va aller faire la petite rue. D'ailleurs on a une porte à déverrouiller si je dis pas de bêtises parce qu'on voyait celle-là à travers la mairie. Ça me fait baisser ma vie à chaque fois qu'il me touche. Ah mais bordel, juste quand je me soigne. La chopstick. Wow. D'accord, j'ai fait tout ça pour rien. On déverrouille la grille, parfait. Là je peux monter dans la maison au-dessus. Cool, un morceau de poignée et une petite morceau de poignée. Alors ça c'est bien. C'est par là le chemin pour aller dans l'autre partie du coup. Toujours pas trouvé les trucs en braille qui me manquaient d'ailleurs. Bon, là, il faudrait vraiment que j'améliore. Ma masse. Parce que là, 25, 26, 27, il commence à être résistant et mettre du dégât.
It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
Un rat, en général, c'est proche d'un refuge, ça. J'ai un refuge juste à côté déjà dans ma maison, ce serait bizarre qu'il y en ait un autre aussi proche. What?
I have this thirst for blood.
Ok, donc là, et bah c'est bon du coup. J'ai été là, j'ai été déverrouiller la porte ici, j'ai fait le tour d'Ascalon. Bah, il manquera plus que cette partie nord à faire, mais on va déjà aller voir la confrérie d'Ascalon. La suite des quêtes va m'amener sans doute automatiquement dans ces deux zones là de toute façon. On va aller parler au dernier PNJ de la zone, qui est la fille de Lady Ashbury, juste ici. Je lui ai parlé à lui là? Ouais, c'est bon.
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte. What do you think about...
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something that's...
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night. considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Ouais, c'est ça, le suffragette, c'est bien cette époque. Et oui, ce que j'allais dire, effectivement, il pose la question à tout le monde de toute façon. Donc...
Are you a suffragette then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
How are the locals reacting?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous.
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
Tell me about...
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see? And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What exactly has your mother told?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Ah, charme niveau 5 si on veut la bouffer, donc ouais. Elle sait effectivement bien se défendre contre le contrôle mental.
Do you know why, Lady...
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Your mother has refused...
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us, despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No.
Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
Why do you still hope to become a vampire, in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Never. That would be betraying your mother's trust. She would never forgive us.
For sure. But look on the bright side. We would have eternity to reconcile.
Or an eternity to run away from your mother's mighty wrath. Quite a terrifying idea, don't you think?
Yes. I think it's wiser to let go of that part of the plan.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Elle est en bonne santé. Ok. Alors, pour le moment, je vais arrêter là cette vidéo. Merci à tous d'avoir suivi et à la prochaine. Ciao!